early spring episode of Waterloo Gardens. We have a little bit of an interesting weather situation here, but we're going to film this anyway. So if things get a little hectic somewhere in the episode, we hope you understand. Today we have the good fortune to be invited to the home and yard of Anet Novak. She will be guiding us on her early spring garden, telling us about how everything works. We're in her backyard now, looking up toward the house. And first thing I want to point out to you guys, is the amazing violets and Siberian squill and star-driven in her lawn. The violets are a particularly intense shade of purple, and they smell wonderful. So, could you take us on a little tour of your yard? What do you have going on over there with the flagstones and such?
Well, that's actually a brand new project. The grass wouldn't grow over there, so I decided just to make a big stone project path. And I actually was working on it last week. So I made it so it tips just slightly, so when if it rains hard, the water will then go into the dry creek riverbed.
Oh, nice.
Which I put on the side. And it's not quite finished, but that's what's going on over there.
Okay.
I decided to stop battling with the grass not taking. It's just too shady when all the trees, that's a big ginkgo, and when it leaves out, it's just pretty dark.
I understand. So you're just working with it instead of fighting it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun too to have a new challenge. Yeah.
Always have something changing.
Yes.
What do you have right here in front of us? What have you? I don't know what kind of tree that is.
That's a smoke bush.
Oh.
And they're zone 5, and we're kind of on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some say we are.
Some say we aren't.
Yeah, sometimes we're zone 4.
Sometimes we're zone 4B.
Yes, we are. So, and with the smoke bush, this is a honey locust,
Okay.
so it's dappled, so it gets some sun, and it's done very well there. And some people cut them back and let the fresh growth come, so they have the vibrant maroon foliage.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just kind of let it be more woody, and I like that. So it's a nice pop of maroon foliage with the honey locust and its small leaves, and everything I have planted under it kind of likes that dappled situation.
Sure.
So there's a lot of carex sedge in here. I've played around with sedge in a couple areas of my garden and used it as a ground cover. And right now it's all cut back, so that's why it's kind of brown and.
Sure. So sedges have edges.
Yes.
So these must be your sedges.
Yes.
Your carrots.
Yep. And come, late spring or even earlier, there won't be any brown, and it'll just be fluffy, kind of moundy, low.
I love the way sedges look.
Yeah. And it does a spring thing with the little seed heads that are kind of fun. And this particular sedge has a blue tint to it.
Oh.
Blue, it's a Carex glaucum or flocka. I don't know, it changes names. And then I also have a variegated one up higher that is variegated, Ice Dancer. I've lost some, but it seems to like my yard. Some people can't grow it. It won't take our cold winters.
Right.
But maybe because it's on a slope, it drains, and so it doesn't, rot from the freeze-thaw in the early spring. So
it doesn't rot out and damp off.
The crowns will rot, and that's what kills them, in my experience.
Got it. Okay.
So, yeah.
Good drainage is very important.
Yes. And less mulching. I like I have enough to mulch, and so I've been playing around with ground covers that can fill a space. So, and be happy.
And be happy. Well, it's certainly filling up this space, and it's its own mulch in a way.
It is. And it's evolved. When I first started, I did have more things. There are hostas everywhere back here. So lots will poke through. And there are some things that didn't like it, the sedge, so I just move them. Gardens are always changing.
Always changing.
Evolving.
So what we're seeing here in bloom and getting ready to bloom are plants that work well with the sedges.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And I see further up slope, I see some little pops of color.
Yes.
Looks like there's a hellebore up there and some hyacinths. And what's that lovely reddish purple flower?
That's a primula.
Primula.
Yes.
Can we look at the primula?
Yes. Yes. In spring, you know, as we know, this last week of 80s, but now it's going to be really cold, and I try to not dive in too quickly with cutting things back.
Right.
So.
I totally understand and agree with you. It's timing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't be impatient.
That's right. It's hard not to. So.
Yeah. This must be your tree peony that you were telling us about in the last episode.
Yeah.
Is this the one with the yellow blossoms?
That one, the yellow is in the front. This one is violet.
Ooh.
It's pretty extraordinary. Yeah.
I imagine with the smoke bush and
Yes.
I've just
Yes.
have all kinds of violets and purples.
Yep. Yep. It's fun, but it doesn't last long if it gets hot and windy. Oh.
Like putting a blowtorch.
Kind
Seriously.
of. Yeah. They're so fragile, but worth growing.
Yeah, I
So.
totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And not that much maintenance either.
The tree peonies?
Yeah.
No, not really. I just trim off the dead and just kind of, if something's going a weird direction, I just snip it off. But other than that, not too much. Yeah. Yep. I've got a lot of bloodroot that just seeds about. Some up here.
Now, I really like the bloodroot leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And just for people who aren't familiar with bloodroot, it's called bloodroot because you break the plant, a reddish orange juice comes out.
Yes.
So that's the blood
Yes.
and the bloodroot.
Yeah. Yes.
I love the leaves.
Yeah, the leaves are great.
It's a very unusual shape.
Yep. And if they get enough water, those leaves will last through summer. But they'll dry out if they get too
Too dry.
hot. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So.
being a spring flower, even if it dries out and dies back over the summer, we don't see it again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's just done.
So what is this plant here?
Oh, that's ginger.
Oh, you've got ginger growing back here.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wild ginger?
It's kind of all over too.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So.
is it? Do you cook with it too, or
I do not.
so it's
I,
a garden plant? not
It
a
is
food
for
plant
me, yeah,
for you.
yeah. But it is the native one, so
Okay.
it's you could, and it's aggressive when it gets happy. So, yeah, I don't really remember planting it up here.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of things that just naturalize and spread about. Lots of squirrels, birds, cats.
Cats?
Got a couple cats. I'm sure the seeds you can stick to animals
to
and
the
then
dirt.
they move. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So.
Oh, I'm seeing a plant right over there. There's a patch of it, and it has kind of frilly leaves. Is
Oh
that-
yeah, that's winter aconite.
Oh my! What a great patch you have.
Yeah, yeah, and it has that wonderful, it's kind of like bloodroot. It does its really pretty flower, and then it has this great leaf, but then it will disappear as well, and it'll be gone by late spring probably.
That's a marvelous patch.
Yeah,
This is another one I really love for its leaf shape.
yeah, it's fun. I have a huge patch under the ginkgo there.
Ooh.
Okay. It's so nice to look down here when it's still really cold in March and have that gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cold, sunny days, it's just open.
That must be incredible.
It is.
And you can see it right from your window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice view.
So what's this little evergreen over here?
Well, I've been experimenting with dwarf evergreens.
Ah.
Some are tougher than others.
Mm-hmm.
This one got a little winter burn. I'll snip that off later. But otherwise it looks pretty good. These two right here are other experiments.
Mm-hmm.
This one has done very well. It's a form of spruce.
Okay.
Silverlock.
Huh.
That one there, it doesn't look as happy. There's some brown on it, but
Yeah.
I just planted it last year, so I'm not going to give up on it yet.
It might take a couple of years to adjust
Yeah.
and figure out
It
how
may.
things go around here.
Yeah, it is a little stressed. So
And we have a vigorous peony, regular peony.
it's a coral colored one.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing the blossoms on
Yeah,
that.
it's a gorgeous one.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who's this coming up over here?
Oh, that is the early foliage of autumn crocus.
Oh, sure.
Yep. Yep.
Now there's a couple of kinds of autumn crocus as I understand it. I just learned about them last fall.
Okay.
And some of them is the source for saffron.
Mm-hmm.
Are these saffron bearing?
Yes.
Oh, so do you harvest the stamens from them for saffron?
I
or
don't. I don't.
do you enjoy the blossoms?
I just leave them on the flowers.
Just leave
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Well, those are wonderful when they bloom.
And the autumn crocus are, they're expensive,
Mm-hmm.
more so than a lot of bulbs. So, but the patches do get larger over the years. I don't, have you tried to grow?
I just planted some last fall. and
Okay.
For our first episode of this show, I
Mhm.
know it's blooming and it's January.
Yeah, yeah.
I was in a sheltered spot. So I'm hoping that mine will spread because, as you said, they are expensive.
They will,
Yeah.
but they're slow. They just kind of take their time.
Just be patient.
Just be patient.
I don't need to harvest their stamens either. I'd
No.
rather just have the plant grow.
Yeah,
Leave it
yeah,
alone.
yeah. Because it's,
Oh,
go ahead.
what other experimental conifers have you got?
Well, I've got one up here that's really cute.
Oh, that is really cute.
Yeah, it's a dwarf. It's from Norway spruce, which is a zone 3 massive tree.
Yeah.
So this one did really well. Picea abies, I think the cultivar is Push, Pusch, and I really like it. And in the spring, the new little cones, you see the old cones on there,
Yes.
are pinkish red,
Wow.
really lovely.
Wow.
And it's supposed to stay pretty small, you know, maybe it'll get a couple feet if I'm lucky.
I love those little cones.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've had a weird spring with snow up until last week and then a solid string of 80-degree days.
Mm-hmm.
Did we miss the purple cones on this plant?
No,
Okay.
no, it hasn't
So
gotten
they're
around to it yet.
coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
At least I hope you'll see them on maybe another episode.
right.
Yeah.
The May episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll cross our fingers. Yeah.
What are all these pots about? Do you have potted plants too, or do they spend some time in the pot and then get moved out?
I do annual containers on my back deck, and they were just in the basement. I don't have a garage, so things go in the basement. And it was warm enough to pull them out and make more room inside. And they'll go up on the deck, and I'll have some fun with mixing annuals or even perennials too, or whatever strikes my fancy. So
How do you get them up the steps? Do you have a dolly?
I carry them,
You carry them.
or I ask my son to help me. He's pretty strong.
He's pretty strong. That's right.
Yep.
Those are some serious pots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I try to get them up there before they get rained on, you know,
Yeah.
while they're dry.
While the soil is dry and
Yeah,
light.
it makes
Yeah.
it easier. So
And I see you have some flats out.
just for my business, I order some things, and when I know there's a plant that I'm sure I'll use somewhere, I snag it. So this
Snag
is
it and keep it and
and
then
yep,
distribute it as
yep.
appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe try some for myself too, because they're always coming up with new cultivars of it's almost impossible to keep up, you know, and know. We all know our tried and trues of certain daisies, certain phlox, but they're always doing new ones.
New things.
In everything. So
I understand. I really do.
yeah.
I'm not a professional, so you must feel inundated sometimes with
Well,
to keep track of everything.
You know, sometimes I like to promote things I've actually tried, but once in a while I'll just say, you know, this one sounds really good. Let's give it a whirl. You know.
So what are you trying? What are these? It looks like you have is this a Shasta daisy in there?
Yeah, they're really doing a lot of different things. I think that one's called Madonna, but there's just so many, and I don't know this one, so I thought I'd just try it.
And get acquainted.
Yep. And then coneflowers. Coneflowers, they've gone bonkers.
They've gone bonkers.
Bonkers.
Just seriously.
Oh yeah. And the colors are extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Is that all one color of coneflower that you have in that flat?
It is. Oh, here, I'll tell you. This one is, actually I have used this one. It's a great one. It's called Pow Wow Wildberry.
Ooh.
And it really is that color.
It really is that color.
Yeah.
Pow Wow Wildberry.
It's a nice compact one, and it just kind of glows in the garden because it's
Full
fuchsia.
sun.
Yeah.
8 to 14 inches tall.
Yeah.
So, was this tree here when you bought your property, or?
Yes, when we've been here about 20 years now, and about 40 years ago, one of the owners worked for McKay, actually, and I'm pretty certain he planted most of the big trees. So I think they're all about the same age, and we actually have thinned out some. There were more in the middle of the lawn. I wanted them more on the perimeter. So it was nice to move into a home that already had some big trees.
I understand. Now McKay, my understanding about ginkgos is that you have to buy them from a place that can pretty much vouch for their gender.
Well,
McKay will say we sell male ginkgos. You just can't be 100% ever, but
it would be wise.
Yeah.
You don't want to find out you've got the wrong one.
Nope, you don't.
No.
And there was someone who told me that a ginkgo can actually, under the right conditions, change its sex. Is that true?
I don't know. I really don't.
Keep the finger crossed.
I've never seen it happen, but
You've never had any fruits on this tree?
No.
You've been here for 20 years.
No fruit.
So it's safe.
Yeah.
And so then the trees behind your ginkgo,
Those are hemlocks.
very pretty.
Yeah. Got a little grove there.
Are hemlocks deciduous?
No.
Okay.
No, they keep they do drop some needles, but they hang on to them. Yep.
I like the lacy foliage look.
Yeah. And they have tiny little petite cones, which are really cute.
Yeah, I can see some of them. They're barely the size of a marble.
They are. Yeah. They're really pretty. Yeah, there's a lot of variety in the trees. I love trees, and also there used to be a wall of arborvitae along that fence line.
Okay.
And when they built the structure, the apartments behind us, they clear cut them. They weren't on my property, but it was a shock because all of a sudden there was light. And I was actually kind of happy about it. And so I planted a witch hazel, which is right there, the small guy. Okay. So it's not super old yet, but it'll probably get 10 to 15 high and wide. Should like the understory. So that was fun. Yeah.
And see, you've got your bleeding heart.
Yep, that's the gold heart variety. And it's seeding. There it is. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And it's seeding true. Sometimes the cultivar seed back to the parent, as you know. And this one is gold. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
What are the plants by your feet?
Right here?
Yeah.
Those are Ligularia Britt Marie Crawford. A Ligularia. I don't know the common name. But they make these leaves get quite large, like 3 times that big.
Really?
And they have this dark gloss. So a mature one, like say this one, it'll be about this big this year. And then I'd say late August, early September, big yellow flowers on it.
Wow.
Biggish.
Biggish. And are the flowers like daisy-like or?
Yeah. Thin petals. Thin.
It's really neat.
It is, and as you see, I have plenty.
Yes, you do. You have plenty.
I've started deadheading it. At first, I would just leave up the seed heads, but I have to dig it now because it goes everywhere. So you have to be careful with the naturalizing thing sometimes. It's a learning for me.
Get out the whip and a chair. Back.
Too much of a good thing.
Back, I say.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And here's your bluebells.
Yep.
Virginia bluebells.
Yep.
Just getting
Yep.
started.
And those,
Sitting there, buds.
everybody loves those.
Yeah.
Those are fabulous.
And those aren't native, but they naturalize well. Am I right? Or
I think they're native.
they're native. All right.
I'm pretty sure. Yep. Even though they say Virginia in the name, I think they are native. I also have baneberry that has naturalized in the back. We'd have to get up close for me to show it to you, but the plant, it's just poking through now, but it's a native shade-loving perennial, and it gets about this tall, so it makes a nice backdrop, because this fills in with hostas. There's so much in there that isn't up right now.
Just starting to poke out. I'm going to walk around the back here so I don't step on anything.
Oh, here it is, right here. This lacy stuff is the baneberry.
That's baneberry.
It's over here too.
Oh, that is pretty. And that's one that's still unfurling?
Yep. And then after it blooms, it gets a little white flower. It gets bright red berries, which is pretty beautiful.
And the bright red berries, do they stay so that they add fall color?
They get eaten.
They get eaten, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Good for wildlife.
Yes, yes. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
See the hostas, their little spear points sticking up through the pine needles there.
Yep, yep. I also have dogwoods that are naturalizing.
Oh.
This just started to happen a few years ago.
So you did not plant this?
No.
You just said, oh, yay.
Well, I'll have
It's a
to.
volunteer.
They're everywhere.
I
Got
there's
one there.
There's one behind.
Yep, there's one there. I mean, and if they seed in a good spot, it's the strongest tree. Because if something seeds, the roots, it's just stronger than anything you could ever plant out of a container or a B&B, because it's not stressed. And it just grows and is happy. Again, that's my experience.
So this would be a native dogwood then?
Oh yeah, Cornus alternifolia. Yep.
Many of the plants in your yard are native plants.
Many. I like everything. So but yes, the natives are lovely and strong. So.
And low maintenance.
For the most part, yeah. Unless they start getting too happy.
Maintenance is controlling their spread.
Yes, yes.
And this wonderful.
Oh yeah, that's a dwarf katsura tree called Hannah's Heart. The regular katsura tree they get quite large, but this one's supposed to stay. This is an experiment, and it's been here for 3-4 years now, and it seems to be happy. It's wet in this corner, so I've tried to plant accordingly. I've tried to make a swale. The neighbor has a kind of a retention area, and it comes in here. So when it really rains hard, like this is full of sedges and ferns, and hostas in the back, and the ferns, because they get so much water, they're like twice as big as they normally would be.
So area is going to look dramatically different in about a month.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like there's nothing, but it's, everything just gets pretty big. So.
Okay, so.
Oh,
there's these.
yeah. Now, these are called Macdenia. I'm not sure I've got that right.
Looks like they do the flowers before they really do the leaves.
Yeah.
Do these leaves go
Yep.
with these flowers?
Yep.
And this is aconite.
Yep. Yeah. And this is actually the prettiest they've ever looked. They've been there a long time. Very slow growing plant. Macdenia. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's not a common perennial, but I just thought I'd try it. I do like it.
And then that's Brunera in the back there?
That's just the Jack Frost, but it likes it back here.
Wonderful leaves. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot larger too.
Do you have that plant at your house?
I don't. My neighbor does. Jack Frost Brunera, and it has the tall flower spikes about this tall with the pale blue.
Yeah,
It's a very
they're
pretty
so
plant.
pretty. And they've done a lot of, there's some new cultivars with that, but this one's nice too. Let's see, what else can I show you?
What are these? They sort of look like anemone plants.
Oh, they are.
Ah,
Anemonella is the first name, and they do kind of look like meadow rue, but they stay like this tall, and they're delicate and very pretty. And the foliage, it gets a little dark.
yeah, I was admiring the foliage. It's got it's a dark reddish
Yeah.
green.
It's really, it's cute.
It is cute.
And this is my 1 trillium that I've gotten to grow
Yay!
right here.
Look at that.
It loves. I haven't been able to get any other trillium to grow back here.
I'm really surprised. I am. I should think this would be very trillium friendly.
I would think so.
Huh.
Maybe I should try again. I kind of gave up, but I was just happy to get this one patch
Sure.
to go.
Making a nice clump.
Yep,
Ready to bloom.
yep. And there's a lot of ginger back here. It's all over. And I have Dutchman's birches here. That's kind of,
I love their finely divided leaves on the Dutchman's bridges, but the flowers are just a hoot.
this foliage here is a woodland hyacinth.
Okay.
And it'll pop up, late spring. It's kind of a surprise when it blooms because all the other bulbs are usually done. So it's a late shade-loving bulb. Blues and whites and pinks.
That's kind of artistic, the plant blooming at the base of that tree.
Did that all on its own. I think that's hepatica.
Really?
Yes.
Now I have to go look at it. Sure. It has the 3-lobed
Yeah.
hepatica leaves.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, how pretty.
I planted one. I think this is the mama plant here.
Okay.
And yeah, it decided it wanted to be there too, which is great.
Last time I saw hepatica, I was walking in a park up in Menominee, and it was growing in a well-preserved old woodland. So it seems like your soil here and your environment back here is very much like a very mature hardwood mixed conifer kind of
Yeah,
forest with all the wildflowers that go with it.
yeah, yeah. Been lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did good when you bought this place.
I should show you this hellebore. This is a beauty.
It is a beauty.
It's called peppermint ice.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that in the catalogs.
it's so pretty.
It is very pretty.
Yeah.
And that will be able to handle our upcoming wintry weather.
Should be okay.
Should be just fine. amazing thing about hellebores.
Actually, most of this stuff should be okay, I think. I don't know, you know, some of the bulbs that are actually blooming might not like an inch of snow, if that's what we actually get. I hope not.
I hope not. You never know.
Yeah,
Find
yeah.
out in 24 hours.
Yep. So the daffodils are just getting started for me. The tulips, I haven't had a tulip yet. Just the, you know, they're getting ready. So.
And iris?
Yep. Yep. That's just kind of the old heirloom periwinkle colored one.
Okay.
It was just a piece from my husband's grandmother, and we took a chunk, and it's lovely.
Heirloom iris.
Heirloom iris, yeah. Yeah, I don't really have any other iris, just that. Because they need it hot and sunny. And even there, it gets some, but probably not as much as it really wants.
It really wants. And that's a German iris, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, this is your greenhouse?
Well, it's just kind of a place where I can put stuff in the winter, and if I get plants and we get a cold snap, I can put them in here. It's just kind of a storage.
Yeah.
I can't actually, you know, start seeds in the winter in here because it gets too cold.
Oh, okay.
It's not insulated that way.
Okay.
But it buys me a few degrees here and there.
I understand. When it's going to be 31 degrees, put them in there and they'll be okay.
Yes.
It's going to be 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Too bad.
I put some things in there and regretted it. Got out here in the morning and everything's wilted.
No.
Ah! Throw it in the basement, hope it perks back up. They usually do. But you never know. So.
Is that another dogwood tree over there?
It is.
You are blessed with dogwood.
I really am, yeah. I mean, I love them. They grow fast, they're native, the birds love them, they're pretty.
Their flowers smell good.
Yeah, they're really kind of the whole package. They grow in sun, clearly. They like the shade, but when they seed in the sun, they do okay. So.
And then rhubarb.
Yeah,
right?
I got rhubarb there.
And your clematis.
Yeah, I put in a bunch. see who makes it.
Looks like 5 of them.
I know. I want to cover that fence. Yeah. So I'm tired of waiting.
Yeah. It'll look beautiful covered with clematis vine.
I hope so. Yeah. I have a lot of this that seeds around too. This is this is a kind of rudbeckia, but I also this is the perennial or biennial bachelor button, the Centaria.
Yeah. Okay.
Blah blah blah. It bebops all over the place. It's everywhere.
Bebop and bachelor buttons.
Yeah. Yeah. Again.
So, what color are the flowers?
Blue, and they look like bachelor buttons.
I love the blue bachelor button.
Yeah.
Flower.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
They're blue in the garden is always a great thing, and sometimes rare, depending on the time of year.
A true blue. So I get disappointed because I'll see blue in the description of the plant, but it's purple.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, this is purple.
Right. Yeah. This is actually, well, kind of a similar color as the Scilla.
Which is a very beautiful blue.
It is.
Your classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it sounds like you've got a lot of purples and blues here in your yard, and then intermingled with the smaller flowers that do the whites.
Yep. I've got, and then I love peonies, so they're scattered about here and there. This garden is one of my sunniest back here, so I get a big patch of phlox, and it's coral colored. It's kind of that in the middle there at the end of my
There it
rain
is.
barrel.
There it is.
Yeah.
Tucked away.
Yes,
Behind
behind
that very thorny looking, is that a rose?
It is.
That is a seriously menacing looking
Isn't it
plant.
awesome?
Yeah.
It's Willem Baffin. If I were to recommend any big rose, that would be the one. And I said I would never grow a rose ever, but it's worth it. It's really pretty. I hardly ever cut it back because it blooms on the old wood.
Okay.
And it blooms up high, so if I'm on the deck, some years I can see all the flowers on top sitting on the deck.
So what color are the flowers?
They're a pink, kind of a medium pink.
And are they single, double?
They're singles.
And I imagine they have a wonderful scent.
They do. They do. And then they get hips.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't have too much trouble with Japanese beetles on them.
Okay.
I thought I might,
Yeah.
but I've got a huge Virginia creeper around the corner, which keeps the beetles busy.
They prefer that. That's
Yeah.
their preferred plant.
Yeah, they like it too much, but I'd rather have them on that vine than on the rose.
So your rain barrel is tucked behind that
Mm-hmm.
formidable rose.
Yes.
And then at the base of the downspout, you have your
Overflow. Yeah.
overflow. Okay, your
Yep.
overflow.
So I really need another barrel because I don't use the water as fast as I mean, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And if we get lots of rain,
Mm-hmm.
the barrel's full, and so at least the water's then going into the garden. So it's funneling off the gutter system that's the one gutter system we have on the whole house is over on the deck,
Oh, I see.
the white.
Right.
So it goes down the right side,
Okay.
and then under the deck, the
I
gutter
remember you
goes.
describing it in the first episode, and I was trying to visualize it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it. So that's complicated.
Well,
it works. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the water's pitching the right way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
So next to your rose, you have
That's
another plant up against the wall there. What's
vigorous. Yeah.
that? Vigorous.
It's a kiwi vine.
Oh, you've got kiwis.
Mm.
So
Well-
that means you have two.
It actually doesn't fruit.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, I have the variety that's variegated that has the white and pink leaves.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
It sounds
it
lovely.
was beautiful last year.
Wow.
I think the older the plant gets,
Mhm.
the stronger the variegation. Yeah, I'm not a huge kiwi fan fruit wise, but it's beautiful and it's a little wild, so I have to shape it and train it.
Mhm.
It's pretty much covered. I've got it all wrapped around everything. So,
That's what I like about early spring gardens is you can see the structure.
mhm.
How does the person support their plants? How
Right.
do they train them, and what kind of framework do they give their plants? And
Yeah.
so here we can see how you've shaped your kiwi and the supports that it uses to grow.
Yeah, yeah. The rose has, I don't know if you can see, but there's nylon string.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have that string around it tied to the deck, it would be on my garden.
Flop over.
So it has to be supported. And the kiwi vine, if you just start wrapping it and training it,
Mhm.
it'll do its own thing. I don't have to tie it to anything. So, and I also have a hop vine that goes up the south side. Right now it's just, it dies back to the ground every year.
Oh, okay.
And it grows all the way up as high as that arbor
Wow.
every year.
Sounds like we're about ready to go over to the side of your house.
We could do that.
So these are lavender plants in a raised bed,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been, you said 4 years now they've been coming back?
At least, yeah. You know, and oftentimes you just can't even get them to survive a winter. So that was kind of a,
Very nice.
yeah, shocking.
Another thing we can look forward to.
Yes,
To see the lavender.
yeah.
And I like the natural wood look of these beds. too.
Oh, thanks.
I like that. And
Yeah.
These short lilies in front.
They're made out of pallets,
Oh, you're kidding.
old pallets. Yeah. Yeah, we were trying to be economical.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it was my husband's idea. He's pretty handy.
We have some old pallets.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was a little more work, you know, getting them the right sizes, but still, there are pallets everywhere.
There are pallets everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Use them up.
Use them up.
Don't use them for bark.
No.
No. Don't use them for bark.
No. And you've got stone crop everywhere.
Yes. Love that stuff. And it likes the heat.
It likes the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Low maintenance.
Yep. It
Do
is.
these have pink flowers or yellow flowers?
There's a couple kinds in here, pink and yellow, I believe. I forget.
Looks like another peony over there.
Yep. It likes to lean. It's one of the heirlooms, magenta colored one, but still pretty.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. And I have some grasses that move about. Those are a variety of feather reed grass
Okay.
called Brachytricha. It's a little more graceful than like it's related to like the Carl Forster that are very upright feather reeds. This one is a little more drapey and will grow in shade, part shade. So I don't know, it just decided it wanted to be there. So.
And it's sprouting out of some of the rocks there too. I like the way that looks.
Thanks. Yeah, I had nothing to do with it.
Your whole yard has it flows. It looks so natural, and
Thanks.
obviously there are places where it looks like, well, maybe you did plant something here, but I love the way the plants have all worked it out among themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I had a plan. I always have a plan, but it's cool to see what the plant decides it wants, right? It doesn't like that spot, well then I move it, or you see where it seeds and then you learn it likes that situation better than where you put it. So
They have their own way of communicating.
I think so.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah, yeah, yep. And in my gardens, again, when we moved in, the mature trees, the juniper was already here. I already had some strong, big stuff. The front was all grass and spirea and yews and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with those, but I had a different vision, and so I just kept killing off the grass one square at a time up front. Neighbors probably thought I was nuts. So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure they don't think you're nuts now.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
well, they still might, but that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
Your front yard, it's like a stained glass piece or a mandala. All these complexities going on in the way that the plants grow and the timing of their blooms, and
Thank you.
your rocks.
Oh, I love rocks.
Oh my word! They're big and they're chunky and they're granite looking, and
Thanks. Yeah.
they make a beautiful backdrop to all of your plantings.
Well, this middle area has its own challenge and drainage. So when it was lawn, the water would just run and sit and be like a little pond here. And then I planted it and didn't have that issue anymore. But we still get lots of runoff off these roofs, and it lands in that back corner. So because we're eclectic, I'm eclectic. I love things that are rusty and old and whatever. And so the water hits those metal things and comes down this riverbed. And then I kind of you can't see with all the plants now, but I mounded the edges a bit. You can see it's a little higher here,
Yeah.
and it's low in the middle. So I kind of created a little, not really a rain garden, but where the water can sit and absorb more, because quite a lot of water comes down here when it pours.
So just for the sake of, because I like to use my hands.
Yeah.
I put this here. So it comes off of your truck.
Yeah,
And,
behind the trough, actually.
okay. And that is really cool looking.
Oh, thank you.
Behind the trough, and then it does it.
Yeah. We
It's guided by this piece of metal.
yeah. So the one on the bottom wasn't enough, because there's so much. It's like a little waterfall.
Sure.
So it hits the rocks in the back of the trough, so it waters the plants in the trough.
Okay.
I've only planted the front of it because we positioned it because the water literally hits the back.
Wow. Okay.
So the plants are safe, they don't get annihilated,
Yeah.
right? And then lots of other water then just hits this back corner. So there probably could be a better way, but we like these metal whatever they are, and it just funnels it. And the hydrangea loves all the water,
Sure.
and then it just keeps moving because the grade drops.
Because the grade drops in. And you did all this.
I did,
You shaped.
yeah. I came out
kind
here
of
and
made the topography and shaped the channel. So
I did, because it used to be entirely flat.
wow.
Yeah. And then I went rock shopping. So a lot of the rocks here were here, because on the north side there were a lot of rocks. But I went and got these aqua colored ones and some others.
So did you purchase them at a rock store, or did you find them someplace?
I went to Madison Block and Stone.
Okay.
It's Rockland.
It's Rockland.
Yeah,
Madison Block and Stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. They're on 51 North Madison. Not far away.
No, it's not far away at all.
Yeah. So if you have a truck, you can.
Field trip.
Yep, field trip. If you like rocks, you'll start drooling. So yeah, so this has been working.
It sure has.
And all this bulb foliage will go away,
Yep.
as you know. Right now it looks a little grassy, messy, but it's just the bulb foliage. And
Early spring.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
early spring. looks.
comes and goes,
Yep.
and yeah, you enjoy it while you've got it. Yeah. All three of these squares are entirely different microclimate, which has been a challenge. So this one's the hot and the wet. This one's shadier. This is a musclewood tree, which is one of my favorite trees.
Never heard of it.
Carpinus is the Latin name. Carpinus caroliniana, native.
Native. Huh.
And it's sunny on the slope over there
Uh-huh.
and dry. Moisture here. And this garden, the front half, it's just hot. Some of the stuff that grows here, I can't get to grow over here. So, I'm always tweaking.
So is this hotter?
Yeah,
Did you say?
it
Okay, so this
is.
is the hot one. That's why you have the poppies.
The poppies love it. It just kind of bakes. Like I have the perennial geranium over there, and it loves it. And I tried it over here, and it just didn't like it. So I gave up. I have a little bit.
Seem to like to have some part shade going on.
I think they do. Yeah. And this is the Biocovo variety. So it's a little different, maybe a little pickier. So,
And here's your big, bold,
yeah.
ornamental grass. And we go back to shade back in here.
Yeah, hellebore land. Hellebores and epimediums.
I
The-
love that rich magenta.
Mm-hmm.
And the epimediums are the ones that are just starting to show flower heads,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yep.
And is that catnip there, or?
It's just Nepeta. Walker's Low. It's the one I have left. I used to have more of it, and I like it, but it can get kind of big, and I wanted more diversity, so I got rid of some of them. But it does well here, and this is the yellow peony,
Ah, there it is.
and it gets kind of, it'll be about this tall.
Sure.
It's kind of biggish now. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Everyone should have a yellow peony.
Everyone should have a yellow peony. I agree.
Bartzella.
Bartzella eat whole.
Yes, yes, yes.
So these look like they have fuzzy leaves.
That's lamb's ear.
Okay.
Stacky's big ears. Yep. And it loves the hot, the dry. So, yeah. So that's what's there, because it will grow there. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to put there.
I like what you said about the different microclimates, because I've noticed that in gardening too, is sometimes just a foot one way or another makes a big difference.
It's kind of amazing, right?
Yeah, it is. And we just went through really like 4 or 5 different zones just walking along your front yard.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, this is east. So, but it's so hot in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could probably draw a line through the garden where it's shady, and then it's full sun. So, like in the terrace is full blasting sun all the time. And it's not doing much now, but I've used the native coreopsis here,
Okay.
and it loves it. And
it looks great.
and it can take the salt because the big
Sure.
plows come down this highway,
Sure.
and it can take it.
It's coming back strong.
Yeah, it is.
And that's a low maintenance plant too, isn't it?
Oh, very. Yeah, but it's also aggressive, I'm finding.
Sure.
Yeah, but in a situation like this, that's an asset. You know, if this is a monoculture here, and it's a good use for it. It's hard to dig up.
I believe it. Once you have it, you are going to have it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe that. Now, do you have anything on the other side of the fire hydrant?
I do. Yeah. Of course I do. So these are a lovely low grass, Cislaria autumn. It's a autumn moor grass, and it's a shorter, full sun to part shade. I've got some over here. It does well in both spots, and it gets white seed heads in the summer. It's very pretty.
Sounds very pretty.
Yeah, and let's see. So I've got a big pink peony here, and it likes it. More of the coreopsis here. I've got some coneflowers mixed in here.
I see that amongst the rocks there.
Yeah, penstemon. So yeah, it gets pretty colorful.
Did you set these bricks in yourself, or were they here? I've noticed you have several areas where there are...
We did that. We thought, well, okay, so there's a lot of walkers, dogs.
Sure,
we
sure.
thought, well, and when they redid the highway, this was all new sod,
Oh, okay.
but it quickly turned brown
Sure.
from the dog
Sure.
pee. And
Wow.
and so I'm like, no, we're just gonna dig it all out and plant. And this has been a good solution. And so we created these areas of brick. Just, you know, if the city ever needs to get to the hydrant or the water or whatever, it's easy for them. That was another reason.
Yeah, I did something similar over at my place. Just set the bricks in the ground.
Yeah.
If the city needs to do something, it's
Oh
simple
yeah.
to just take them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
so
like there's cement and grout or anything. It's just set in the ground.
that's what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the two pathways for people who park there,
Mm-hmm.
if they line up their car door on the passenger side,
Sure.
they don't have to walk through the garden,
That's right.
which is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Trying to give them options.
Good choices.
Yeah, yeah. So that, we're all happy. Yeah. So, and the brick, actually a lot of the brick is the same as our house.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have 3 chimneys on the house, and when they re-roofed it before we bought it, they knocked down the chimneys and they saved all the old brick.
It's good they saved all the old brick.
Very much, yeah. Yeah, it's come in handy more than once.
Yeah, we had got some pressure from the person who put the new roof on our house to get rid of the chimney.
Mm-hmm.
But our furnace vents through the chimney.
Ah,
So they said, don't ever let them talk you into taking the chimney off.
yeah. Ours were becoming ways of bats getting in.
Oh, yeah.
So,
They were not a good thing anymore.
no, it wasn't our decision. I mean, they were gone.
Sure.
But I can see why they did that.
And you got to use the bricks.
Yeah. So, thank you. Thank you
And
for
thank
coming.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you for the tour and
you're
sharing.
welcome. Hope it was helpful.
Thank you for joining us today at Waterloo Gardens, and please remember, if you or someone you know really loves gardening and would like to share their garden and their love of gardening with an audience, please contact WLOOCATV@gmail.com.